Hi guys and welcome here. I'm Pragya and I'm a mom of one little girl. She is 4 years old and I have been homeschooling her since she was almost 2.5, around 3 years old. She has been learning everything inside home only. When I share a lot of homeschooling videos, people get confused they just assume that I teach her like for long hours whole day, but that definitely is completely wrong. I teach her only 30 minutes maximum. Like sometimes it just happens 20 minutes to 25 minutes, and that really is truly more than enough for any child in the early childhood. Now that we have been homeschooling her for a long time, I have realized that there are few mistakes that I have personally done, but I have seen other parents also doing this kind of mistakes, and some of the mistakes have been taken by observing those parents. So I'll share all of them over here in this video. And homeschooling is a journey in which you are gonna fail for sure. There are gonna be some mistakes that you will be doing. You will feel burnt out. Some days, some weeks you will be like, okay, I've got this, I can do this easily, and some days, some weeks, some months are just so tough. So you have to keep in mind, like, you're gonna have a burnout weeks and days, and then you will realize the mistake and you will move forward. So now without further ado, let me start with homeschooling mistakes that you should avoid with young kids. Nirvi's daughter. The first and very big mistake I see a lot of parents making is teaching their kids all day long or for very long stretches. I have seen people teaching their kids 1 to 2 hours every single day. I have seen parents doing 1 hour in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, 1 hour in the evening, and for multiple hours. This is just not how it is gonna work with the young kids. You have to be just very precise with what you're gonna teach every single day. So I generally teach her, my daughter, for like anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes max to max, and that too we only homeschool her 3 to 4 days, maximum 4 days in a week, because otherwise they'll just get burned out. They need time to digest what you have taught. They need their own self-care and free days. They need free hours to play around and work around and help you around. So they need time to do all those instead of learning and focusing on the circle time and worksheets and all. The second mistake is very much related to this topic, and it is all about bugging your kids all day long by asking what you had taught during the homeschooling time. So for example, if you're homeschooling your kid in the morning, you taught something. For example, you taught your child 5 sight words. So do not ask them those sight words like whole day just by showing them card, like, what is this, do you remember this or not. So this kind of bugging, just like, it's a bugging, so it is gonna irritate your kids. Most of the time kids feel like that study doesn't actually end on the whole day, and because of that they also get burnt out. Once a homeschooling is done, just leave it there and move forward with the regular stuff that you do with your kids. Okay, so the next thing is, do not teach your kids writing if they're not interested, because their palm muscle is still developing, and if they're not showing any interest in writing or doing tracing practice or those, that means that they are not ready. And make sure that give them time, and they are gonna hold pencil in different ways, like from top and like this and this, and slowly the grip will come. Slowly the grip of the pencil comes with the time when they are doing practice, but make sure that you're not forcing them to hold pencil in certain way. Otherwise it will be too hard for them, for their finger, and their hands can get very tired easily. So be sure to do that. And I also have a dedicated video on how to teach them writing in a step-by-step process. I'll make sure to link it down below for you guys to check it out, because just in case if you're struggling, you can watch that video and start fresh after giving them a break. The next point is very much related to the old point, which is, if your child is not interested in writing, what you should teach. Focus more and more on oral learning and doing a lot of art and craft, doing practical life things, doing fine motor skill, and doing sensory play, those kind of thing. Just make sure that you're doing some or the other kind of activity which is learning. apart from the writing thing, because kids learn through those more, and actually their brain can hold a lot of things, whatever they are learning through whatever way. So make sure that you're doing activities in different forms. Now this leads me to the next point, which is all about not giving your kids too much of worksheets. This is why I have created my own workbook, because otherwise some curriculums, some workbook can get really overwhelming, because they have chapters very much linked, so that they have to do particular those 2 or 3 worksheet or pages in a day. And that's why I had created my own, so that my daughter can do just one worksheet or two worksheet in a day, and she is done. I'll make sure to link it down below for you guys. So many of you have already got the workbook bundle for your kids, but just in case if you have missed it out, be sure to check it out. I have also included GK and science workbook this week only, so be sure to check that for sure out. In case if your child is not interested in doing writing practice sheets or those, you can still get GK and science workbook. That is going to be really helpful. But coming back to the point, why you should not give too much of worksheets, because they're not going to learn through worksheet is just for making sure that they have got the concept, and also for just learning how to write a particular thing. So at the end they are going to sit down for longer time. At the end they are going to do a lot of homeworks and school works and all those, just in case if you are going to enroll your kids, and when the curriculum is going to go a little vast, and they are going to sit down for long hours. So make sure that your kids are not sitting down to write or doing workbooks for a very long time, because eventually it is going to happen. So make sure to cut it down into one worksheet a day, and it will make your kids happier and excited for the next day's worksheet as well. Please do not disturb, okay? The next point is very much she's just doing my actings, okay? Next is, do not stick to one kind of curriculum. Just in case if you're homeschooling your kids, nobody is gonna care what kind of curriculum you followed inside homeschooling. Just you have to make sure that if you are teaching your kid for 1 year only, like for this year, and next session you are gonna send your kid to any school or something, that just make sure that they're not gonna struggle in that grade. Just in case if you are wondering what kind of curriculum we are following inside home, I'll link down few videos which I have done in past, which can be really helpful, and you can download or write it down on pen and paper, so that you are very focused and clear. And I have made sure that my kid is learning only which is age appropriate, otherwise it can get really overwhelming for parents how to teach that particular topic and kids to understand what is going on. So make sure that you're keeping things simple, sticking to curriculum, whatever you have made for your kid. The next point is, do not plan too much. Go with the flow. Do not plan for 2-3 weeks in advance or 1 to 2 months in advance. Take 1 to 2 weeks at a time and just plan for those, whatever topic you're gonna cover, whatever worksheet you're gonna do, whatever circle time you're gonna do. Just stick to that. Otherwise it can be really overwhelming if you are not able, because sometimes your kids pick up few things very easily, but in few weeks, in few topics, they might take up long time. So for example, if you had set to teach something in 1 week, it can take 3 weeks as well. So instead of focusing more on timelines, focus on how to teach your kids effectively and for the lifetime. The next point is, do not be afraid of teaching your kids whatever they want. Do not be afraid to leave the things which they are not showing interest in. Maximize on what they are showing interest in, so that they know that particular topic well, and when they are bored with that, when they are done with that, then you can introduce that particular topic that you was thinking to put up in their plate, so that they are now showing interest. Then you can go ahead with that, or maybe leave it again and go with the flow. Just think about what they are interested in, what they want to learn, because if you will force them to learn certain topics which they are not interested in, it is gonna just again create frustration, and they don't have to know everything about everything. They don't have to be encyclopedia. So make sure that you are just making sure that you're teaching what your kids are showing interest in and how they want to learn. If they want to learn few things just through practical life, there is no point of doing any sort of worksheet or any sort of circle time in that particular thing. The next point is, if you are thinking your kids to put up in any school or something, make sure to learn about the registration stuff, because homeschooling is a very personal thing, but again you have to register your kids for homeschooling. In few countries and few states the registration process is little different and difficult as well. Be sure to check out those. In India, it is very lenient. If you want to homeschool, you don't have to tell to anybody that you are homeschooling or anything else. Just make sure, like wherever, in whichever school you want to teach to, want your kids to go to, ask them, like even if they will not have a TC of particular previous year, will they get the admission or not. In most of the Indian government school they can get without TC. Make sure that you are learning about particular states criteria, how they can get registered in particular school, or in few schools at least have some option. Okay, so the next and last point is teaching your kids in long stretch. Do not do that. If you're teaching your kids like for 20-30 minutes or 40 minutes, make sure to give them 2 minutes or 3 minutes of break in every 10 minutes. Otherwise, it's just too much for their brain. And I have read one book in which it was showing like in every 10 minutes kids need at least 2 minutes of break to just process what they had learned, and their brain is not fully developed. So make sure that you are just building up a like homeschooling routine or thing in which they are learning for 10 minutes, having 2 minutes of break, then again learning for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then it's done. So how you can do this, what we do is we do a circle time. We just grab some snacks, so she's busy for 2 minutes in either snacks, doing coloring, whatever, or we just goof around, and then we move towards our workbook or worksheet, whatever we have, or any other activity setup we have. So this was it, guys. I really hope that you got some points which might be really helpful for you, and a few things which you were doing wrong, just so that you can correct. If you have any suggestion, be sure to comment down below for other parents or for me as well. If you have any other video ideas, also video requests, you can comment down that as well in the comment section. I really read every single comment. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and please share it with all the homeschooling parents you know, because I know a lot of parents are homeschooling around this time. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.